पढ़ाना और नमाजी भी बनाना। माँ मुझे खूब पढ़ाना और नमाजी भी बनाना।
I'd like to welcome all of you to our Sunday school orientation. I'm very happy to see the turnout, and it's given me a little bit of encouragement to start the Sunday school. And we're going to start. Did you guys all enjoy the Italian ice? Was that good? Yeah? Everybody had lunch? All right. We're going to start with the recitation of Quran by our little brother Hasnain. He's going to recite Surah Fajr for us. You want to stand?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والفجر وليال العشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Wow, mashallah. Can we have one more loud salawat for little Hassan? Mashallah, I did not hear him before. I just trusted his mom, and I think his mom should have a loud salawat for raising such a nice, son like this. And I know we all wish for our children to be like you. That was really long, and I don't think a lot of us as adults even know that by memory. Now we'd like to actually start our orientation. But first of all, I'd like to ask you, why are one person more successful than the other? Even though they're raised in the same community, the same schools, same age, why do you think they're more successful than the next person? Anybody?
Education.
Education. Any of the children have any answers? Yeah, these are. You were going to say that too? Any of the girls? Knowledge, education, yes. That makes one person a little more better than the next. And that's why we're here. To give your children the best Islamic education that we possibly can. And we have to work together as a community, and we have someone here who has those skills and works in the background for our community, he's involved in the community, and he's our principal, Brother Hassan Zayed, sorry. And he's going to come up and start the orientation, and everyone else on the line.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. Respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the blessing and Salah ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the blessing to be here among our brothers and our sisters. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this secure place and this secure environment where we can talk about running a Sunday school, where we can talk about educating our little kids. I don't want to bring this up, but it's something that I think I have to do. It's something that's in all our responsibilities. Whenever we have gatherings like this one, and whenever we're sitting here in such an easygoing manner, we had our lunch, we had awesome dessert. You just think about our brothers and sisters in Iraq and Pakistan who currently are going through a very tough time, as many of you guys already know. And whenever we get together, I think we should always talk about, if only for a few seconds, just think about the way they are being treated right now in their own homes, where terrorists are marching into their homes, finding out they're Shia. And there are kids here, so obviously I don't want to get into any graphic details, but you guys will understand the way our Shias are treated, not only in Iraq, in Pakistan, in Karachi, in Parachinar, and there Ismail Khan. We need to make sure that if their voices are not heard, we yell out for them. If they can't speak because of whatever restrictions on them, we live in a free world where we can talk about whatever we want. And it's really great to see when we see around the social media, we talk about all these different rebellion or protests against the ISIS terrorism. It's a very bittersweet feeling when someone like me sees that on social media and the Ahl Bayt television series where we have everyone holding up those No to ISIS signs. It pains me because I've never seen anyone standing up for when our brothers and sisters in Karachi get slaughtered, when schools are blown up in Karachi, in Parachinar. I think because we are so scared to speak up, we don't say anything because we're afraid of our positions here. We don't want to have anyone else think that we're some sort of, fighting army for Karachi or fighting army for Pakistan. But I just want to throw that out there as it is my responsibility. I consider it my responsibility. And what I want everyone to do is really, from the bottom of their hearts, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to eliminate these terrorists. Eliminate, these aren't even people who don't even value a human life. It doesn't matter, Shia, Sunni, Christian, Jewish, it doesn't matter. Islam tells us, humanity tells us that human life should be valued no matter what. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eliminate these terrorists. We talked about the problem, what is the solution? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Everybody join me. I want all the kids that are here to stand up. The parents, obviously, you guys have had a big lunch, you don't need to stand up. But I want the kids to stand up because these kids should know that whenever the name of our last Imam is recited, No matter where he is with us tonight. I can tell you that for a fact because we are here to talk about education. We are here to say his name and to spread his name. Let's all, for the safety of our Imam and through that safety of our Imam, let's all recite this dua to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep all our Shias safe from anyone that is trying to harm them. Everybody recite the safety of Imam Zaman. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kulli waliyyika al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaihi fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a waliyan وقائدا ونصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I apologize for that negative beginning, but I do feel like it was my responsibility whenever I have the opportunity to say something like that. On behalf of the Jafaria Islamic Education, Islamic Society, on behalf of the Jafaria Education Board, on behalf of all our teachers that are present here, I want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would also like to welcome all of you and thank all of you here for taking your time out to come and learn about what we have to offer. And if you're not here to learn about that, we thank you for coming here to even support us. Every single support from you guys really makes a difference from the teachers, for the students, for the parents. I want to start out obviously with the Quran, as we do with any of our presentation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Zumar, He says, are those who have knowledge and those who have no knowledge alike? Only the men of understanding are mindful. Someone said education makes one person more successful than the other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that if you have education, if you have knowledge, you won't be like the person who doesn't have knowledge. You will always be held at a higher standard. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, in Nahj al-Balagha, he says a beautiful saying. He says, when a dead person is placed in his grave, 4 kinds of fire will cover him. And then the prayer. And then the prayer will come and put one of them out, and the fast will come and put the other one out. And the charity will come and put the other one out. And then knowledge will come. The last thing that will come is knowledge. And it will put the 4th one out. But after that, knowledge will say that if I had come sooner, I would have put out all of them and give you a delight. For I am with you now, and you'll not see anything else distressing. We're not gaining knowledge so we can be successful in this world. That's something we all need to understand. Knowledge isn't something that's going to benefit us. Knowledge isn't something that's going to get us into good universities and get us high-paying jobs. As Muslims, as Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib, we should also understand, for all the kids that are here, knowledge is something that will stay with you even after you die. It will help you not only in the grave, it will only help you, it will also help you in the hereafter on the day of judgment. What is our vision? What is, when Jafaria Sunday School was started, what was that? There was that one vision where we said, what is it, if we were, in professional world they call it an elevator pitch, right? If someone's with you in an elevator and they say, what is this about? You have, 10 seconds to tell them in one line what is something about. Jafaria Islamic Society Sunday School, we want to provide the students an Islamic education for all children to become followers of the Ahlul Bayt. That is it. For me, if I can do anything I can to make these kids the followers of the Ahlul Bayt, my work, the work of our teachers is done. Work of the parents is done. If we can make our children the followers, the lovers of Ahlul Bayt, they will do the rest. We don't have to do anything. Our job is to instill the love of the Ahlul Bayt in our children. And that's what we aim to do here. And obviously, once we do that, one of our goals is to make a positive impact. Because the kids I see here today, I see them as the leaders of tomorrow. when we go away, when this generation passes, someone has to run this Imam Barga. Someone has to keep the Azadari or Imam Hussein alive. I see these children. And that is why this is so important, because if we neglect them today, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us, what did we do to preserve the tradition of our A'immah? So that is one of the major goals, is to instill the love of the Ahlul Bayt so they can carry the message of the Ahlul Bayt forward, and also they become the leaders of our tomorrow. Objectives, there are some, so that was our vision, right? The similar objectives is, how do we instill that love of the Ahlul Bayt? So we want to facilitate students with Islamic learning and practices. What does that mean? So our curriculum, a lot of you have questions about the curriculum. A lot of people have asked me, what curriculum are you using? Where are you going to get your curriculum for? For me, as a past teacher in Sunday schools, I've taught Sunday schools, I've studied at Husseiniya and Imamiyya. For me, one of the things that always kind of pained me and always really was in the back of my mind was some of this curriculum, people get it from online and they teach it to our kids. One of the objectives that I will put in place, and that the administration of this school will put in place, is if we're going to use someone else's curriculum, like there's Madrasa.net, there's the Sirat curriculum that other centers currently use. There are a lot of curriculums out there. We want to make sure that that curriculum goes under a very thorough inspection of some of our respected alim-e-din. We have already started that process. We're not waiting for, we're not waiting for registration or anything like that. We want to be ready. We want to be ready because we want a curriculum that I, as principal, can feel confident that when I teach these kids, or when the teachers are explaining the curriculum to our kids, I want to make sure and I want to be confident that what they are taught is what the Ahlul Bayt teaches us. I don't want to be in a position where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks me, how did you teach your children something like this that had no value whatsoever, that someone put online and you took it and you taught it to them? That is something, a responsibility is that all the teachers at Jafaria will have, is whatever we teach them, we have to make sure that is researched, we have authenticated it, the hadith that we tell our kids are authenticated, they come with references, and everything we teach them comes from the Ahlul Bayt and our 14 Masumeen and nobody else. Unfortunately, some of our curriculum in the past have had kind of trickles of information from other schools of education, and we do want to make sure that our kids are taught the right thing and the right thing only. That is one of the major objectives. The second one, once again, like I said, I've been through Sunday school, I've been a teacher. One other thing, and this is probably more than the curriculum itself, it is how lightly we take the subject of this holy book right here. For me, it was always painful to see that a teacher was teaching Quran that never had the correct pronunciation, that didn't know the grammar of Quran, that didn't know the tajweed of Quran. And it was really hard to see parents trusting teachers that could do that. One of the objectives that we have is to teach your children the correct Quran. The reason being is, when we recite Salat every single day, 5 times a day, we're reciting Surah Al-Hamd and another surah, we're reciting Zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say if we have the wrong pronunciation, that Salat is not going to help us at all. So do we really want to invest in our children and teaching them something with the wrong pronunciation and have their salats invalidated? I don't think we should do that. I don't think we will do that. I've talked to the administration, I've talked to the teachers that we have, they'll undergo a thorough examination to make sure their pronunciation is correct. That is the most important thing for me. Arabic grammar, tajweed, that is all something that we do look for, but pronunciation has to be perfect. And we want to make sure these kids, as they grow up, have perfect recitation of the Holy Quran. It is very sad when you go, we were at a graveyard just recently, about a month ago, and as we were burying our Shia brother, there was also another burial happening of Ahl Sunnah. And it was very painful because we were reciting Quran, we were reciting the Fatiha, and then you would hear them recite it. And it was embarrassing almost because our recitations weren't, if they weren't in a good voice, it wasn't proper pronunciation. When our Ahl Sunnah brother recited Quran, it was you really wanted to listen to him. They had the most beautiful recitation. It doesn't matter, they were from Pakistan, India, Middle East, anywhere. Their Quran is always perfect. They do take their Quran seriously. That is one thing we should learn from them. Unfortunately, and I'm not saying all of the centers and all the schools don't do this. I hope everyone does. But at Jafaria Sunday School, we do want to aim to make sure that the children that are graduated through the Sunday School have a really perfect pronunciation. The other is to provide a place for children to make friends with the Islamic community. Alhamdulillah, we want this center, we want this school to not only be not just a school where kids come and just learn and then go home. We want them to create their social. We want to kind of encourage them to make friends among themselves, to have that social element as well. It should not always be learn, go home, learn, go home. There should be a social element where they look forward to come, talk with their friends, and really have a good time as a whole. And also, this is one of the goals that I'll keep hitting, is to build leadership at all levels. It doesn't matter if your kid is 4 years old or 14 years old. They should have, from the beginning, they should learn elements of leadership. Because we do want them to grow into leaders. We want them to take over as leaders of our, not only our Sunday school, but also leaders of our Imam Bargas as well. So a disclaimer. We all love disclaimers, right? Our biggest disclaimer is we can do this 360, well, not 365, but every single week in this year. We only do it 5 hours a week. We can't do it alone. We need your help, the parents. Jafaria Education Center is not an alternative. Please, please, please. This is my humble request to all the parents. Do not take Sunday school and make it that's your only religious avenue for the whole week. We need to make sure our children throughout the week are being taught Islam, are being taught the narrations, and the clock or Ahlul Bayt. This is not just 5 hours a week, your kid comes in, they go home, and that's it, no more Islam. We need to make sure the parents are, they're dedicated to kind of help the teachers and help the Sunday school really establish this knowledge. One thing I do, and I don't know if one of you guys, Reza, if you can come and just click on this link, it's on the computers right there. One thing I do want to, so a lot of things that we're going to create here is, pain points from when I went through Sunday school, pain points from, just click on that link, go back. Just click on that link right there, the jafariaschool.org one. There you go, thank you. And just log in, or just click sign in. You don't have to log in. You will have to log in. But what we want to do is, we want an avenue where a parent can communicate easily with the teachers and the administration. A lot of times I remember sitting in parent-teacher conferences one-on-one, and I used to tell them, your child isn't doing very well, and they would be surprised. Like, I have no idea what's going wrong. Why are they doing not well? So what we decided to do is implement an online dashboard where it's going to be dynamically updated, constantly updated, to show how your child is doing in each of the subjects. And you can tell, just by the colors to see what's going on. Obviously, I'm not doing too well in the Qad. So my parents will not be very happy with me. But if you go down, there's a section, just kind of scroll down. There's a section of homework, recent emails that have been sent out. And then at the very bottom, you'll see a question section where you can ask a question, and you can drop down who do you want to ask the question to. And we can communicate as easily as possible. So this is just an avenue for you guys, for the parents, to communicate with the teachers and to know exactly how your child is doing.
MashaAllah, very nice. Hassan, how often are you going to update that?
The teachers will be updating that every week after a test has been graded. As I said, there was a place where you can look at the attendance after each. Everything we're going to strive, and this is one thing that is it's really close to me is our Imam Bargas. We have a lot of professionals in our community that can do a lot of these things, but unfortunately when you come to a center, everything is like 16th century technology. And one of the goals of Jafaria is that we're going to use technology as a whole to really establish Sunday school. One part being is this. Other part is going to be a teacher is going to have, every time they update something, a parent can see it. Every time they put in a grade, every time they take roll call, it'll come up on the parent dashboard as well. This is obviously a work in progress. It's going to be improved. We're going to ask for your suggestions, see what do you want to see, and we'll keep improving that. And we'll keep improving this whole experience where a parent doesn't have to wait, every 6 months to find out how his child is doing. It just should be at a click of a button. You can go see how your child is doing, what he needs to do, what he has missed, and that sort of thing.
So this will be accessible only to parents?
Yes, as you saw, there was a login screen. So once you log in, then it basically will show all your children. There's going to be a drop down where you can drop down if you have more than one child enrolled. You can pick that child and it will show it for that dashboard. Alright, so that's just our disclaimer. One of the slides we want to show is the role slide. So, like I said, it's not just the teacher. The teacher only has a quarter of a pie. The rest, the students, obviously needs to be committed. We need to have dedication from the students. We need to have dedication from the parents and also the community as a whole. Every time a child comes to a jushan or to a majalis, our community should be encouraging our children to recite the Quran, like Brother Hasnain just recited, to recite the daily du'as that are recited. Our children should be doing that. I don't think a lot of the adults, when they recite it, it's great, but I feel like our generation needs to step up and take that over. So our community, inshallah, will encourage our children to be involved as much as possible into the daily activities that we have, whether it's the Thursday program or the Friday program, or the many different jushans and the majalis as well. Events. So it's not only going to be a Sunday school, go home, that's it. We're going to try to do as many events to make it interesting for the student and also for the parents. We're going to have quizzes and competitions. That's something I feel like really encourages the students. I can tell them and say, do your homework, get that done, they'll turn it in, we're good. But if I tell them that, tomorrow or on Friday night, in front of the entire community, we're going to host a Jeopardy that's going to talk about Imam Musa Qasim. That interest level is going to go it's just going to skyrocket. They're going to be more excited. They're going to want to get those prizes. They're going to really study a lot more than if we just say Sunday school, Sunday school, Sunday school. So we're going to have a lot more quizzes, competitions, reciting and memorization of surahs. Once again, Hasnain came and recited Surah Al-Fajr. How many of us parents that are reading the Quran really know 5 ayahs of that surah? It's really embarrassing, but we don't, including myself. There's a lot of the minds of these children are so big that they are ready to learn, and the more we give them, that's what they will learn. And we should learn from these guys as well. Field trips and activities. Obviously, once again, let's not make this just comes, work, go home, that's it. It should not just be that. We should go out, take a field trip, talk about activities, and also the guest speakers on different occasions, we do want to do that. Emphasis on Islamic events. I don't want to embarrass anyone, so please no one answer or no one don't answer. But if I ask everyone here when Imam al-Jawad was born, I can tell you, including myself, 95% of this audience do not know that. I want these kids to know that, because if you wake up on that day of his wiladat and your kids come to you and say, hey mom, hey dad, this is the wiladat of Imam al-Jawad, then you'll learn as well. We're going to emphasize that. We're going to say, we need to know when our imams were born. Everybody knows when Kobe was born. Everybody knows when a soccer star or someone else was born. But unfortunately, we don't really put that emphasis on our imams and our scholars as well. Kids participation, I talked about, we do want them involved in the regular Jafaria programs. Whether it's Thursday night Dua Kumed programs, whether it's reciting Hadith Kitha at Jashan, reciting Ziyarah at the end of any program, they will be involved. So this is another question that was asked, classroom setups. As you guys can see, we don't have any classroom where you can open the door, close the door, sit down, have a class, right? One thing we do want to say is we will have a setup where we will have partitions in place, and these are, I was promised, these are kind of semi-soundproof, so sound will not kind of penetrate through these. We will make classrooms like this, where children, where you can set up a desk in here, close out that class, have a teacher that can teach a class with the proper materials. Okay? You guys all look surprised. Believe me, our teachers will not wear skirts like that. She is not our teacher. Subjects offered. Obviously, Quran, we're going to take that really seriously. Something parents should be ready for. Quran will be taken seriously at this Sunday school. Quran fiqh is one of the forgotten subjects. When we pray, we fast, we pay khums, we do zakat. How many of us really know what is the proper channels to give zakat? What is the proper channels to give khums? Are we praying our salat the right way? Are we fasting the right way? Fiqh is really one of the more important subjects that we will be hitting hard in Sunday school. Akhlaq, morals, behaviors. Every of these subjects, believe me, there's akhlaq on one end, right? Akhlaq that is morals and human nature, table manners, bathroom manners. And then there's akhlaq taught by our Ahlul Bayt, right? That's a way of living. How do you live according to the Ahlul Bayt? Whenever I say akhlaq, I mean the way of life according to our Ahlul Bayt. Tariq, Islamic history, something that should be important, that will be important in Sunday school, and aqaid, Islamic beliefs, the five usul al-din, right? Tawheed, Risala, Nubuwwat, Imamat. What is all this? Tawheed, right? It's such a dry subject, but once a kid or once anyone understands the subject of Tawheed, Islam just became a whole lot easier for them. So these are the subjects that will be offered. Inshallah, my plan was to give just kind of different classes, like there's going to be a class by the title of Our Forgotten Imams. I talked about alhamdulillah, we are very blessed that our children and we know Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, right? Because they hear it so much. We know Sayyid Abu Abdullah. We know about him, but how many of us really know about Imam al-Qadhi? How many of us really know about Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, who's based upon him is our Sharia, right? Jafari, we are Isnash Jafari. But how many of us really know the life of Jafar as-Sadiq? How many of us really know who Imam al-Jawad was, Imam al-Hadi was? How many of us really know that before the ghaiba of our Imam, the tribulation that he had to go through? How many of us really know that? So that's something that I want to really offer to our children is talk about. Each month we'll talk about a different Imam and we'll go deep into them. We'll have competitions based on that one Imam only. So our children can understand the value, because the Imam Ali and Abu Abdullah are they're filled with information, but we're unfortunately leaving out the rest of these Imams. So we're going to do our best to kind of reinforce that as well. So now the team of Jafaria Sunday School. First of all, I do want to thank everybody, all the teachers, all the interested teachers that have come up to me, that have come up to Sister Nosheen, to express their interest in teaching here, in helping out here, and being volunteers here. We do take that very seriously. We do take our teachers very seriously. As much as we want the parents and the students to be dedicated, the parents should also hold the teachers to a high standard as well. Even though we are volunteers, but we're doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but our teachers should be walking role models. For your kids, if they are coming into a class and they're getting taught by someone who, unfortunately is not doing proper hijab, or unfortunately is not portraying the manners of what a Shia should be, then your kids aren't really going to learn much, right? Reading a book is easy. acting the book is hard. And we're going to make sure that we can talk the talk and we'll also walk the walk. So I do want to thank everybody, and really from the bottom of my heart, these are volunteers. These are people who are willing to take hours out of their weekend, right? We all work, we all have responsibilities. So on behalf of the entire board, all the teachers that are here present, please stand up, please do. And I will go through the names, but I just want everyone who's volunteered to be a teacher, who's also even expressed interest to be a teacher, please stand up, and everybody else, please recite a loud salawat for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them jaza, because we can't do anything that does justice to any one of these guys. I'm going to start the way top, the chairman of the board, Brother Raza Ali. Oh, that was weird to say. He's my mom, so I'm not used to calling him by his first name. But Raza Ali, who's the chairman of our board, of our education board, who's done a lot to basically set up the foundation for this Sunday school. Without that board that we have, you guys can sit down, sorry. Without the dedication and the ideas and the minds of our board, we would not be here. Masood Uncle as well, who's a member of the education board, who has done a lot of service to get this started. The administrator, Sister Nosheen, she's going to be doing probably the most work with the parents, with the students, to make sure everything runs in a smooth manner. Our event coordinators, probably the person who's acted the most behind the scenes, Rizwan Bhai, who has done a lot of just, I remember when we were setting up the website or what email to send out, even if it was like 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, he would answer right back, with the edits and what needs to be sent. So he's done a lot to get this started and to get all this kicked off.
Sunday, is there ice cream every Sunday?
The parent coordinator, Batul Aunty, everybody knows Batul Aunty. Just one thing I want to share. Rizwan Bhai told me to say, something about the teachers. One thing that really, one thing that Islam gives us the permission to be jealous about. Every time I ask my mom, how's Asif Uncle, Batul Aunty doing? Believe me, every single time they tell me they're in Karbala, they're in Umrah, they're in Iran, I am sincerely jealous of Batul Aunty. To have someone like a Zawar or Imam al-Hussein on this team means so much to me. The value that Zahir or Imam al-Hussein has is something I can't put into words. So we're very, very, very excited and very delighted to have Batul Aunty as one of our parent coordinators. Quran teacher, once again, there's a lot of teachers that are still in the works. Like I said, Quran is going to be taken very, very strictly. We want to make sure that whoever teaches Quran can teach Quran to his best ability. Sheikh Salah is one of the Imam who recites Salat al-Jum'ah here every Friday. He's going to be our Quran teacher. There's going to be more, but like I said, they're still in the pipeline where we're still examining, making sure they can do that. Masuma Farishta, once again, very weird to say that again. She has taught at Husseiniya, she has taught at Imamiya, Zainabiyya, I think all the different madrasas. So we are very happy to have experienced teachers like Sister Masuma. Brother Imtiaz. So everybody knows Brother Imtiaz. He's also taught at Zainabiyya Islamic Center. He's also one of our experienced teachers. So we really are interested in getting these types of teachers who are experienced, who have taught at different centers before, who can really be role models for our children. Brother Hussein Raza, he recently came here from Kansas. He used to live in Pakistan and he used to teach at Al-Murtaza and their Imam Barga and their Sunday school. And for those who are from Karachi, knows how hard it is to teach under Maulana Shabir Mesri. So we're very glad to have someone like him who's undergone that kind of rigorous inspection, and he's done this kind of teaching at a high level. So he'll be with us as well. Sister Masuma Haydari, I was just told that she's a graduate from Columbia University in education. She's already taught at a full-time Islamic school. So these types of teachers are something that will help not only the students, but also other teachers like myself, where we're still learning about how to teach. And to have teachers like her is really a gem for us. Brother Izhar Haider, once again, he's also taught at a university in Pakistan. So he's taught at bachelor's and a master's level. So for having someone like him to be teaching our kids is really an honor for all of us. Sister Fatima Merchant, I'm not sure if she's here. She is. Sister Fatima is also taught at Zainabia. Once again, she's an experienced teacher. Sister Sukain Ali, she's also taught at Imamia, Zainabia. Once again, we have experienced teachers. Sister Hiba Raza, she's taught for 3 years at Imamia, Zainabia. Raza Bushairi, I really have no introduction for him because whenever I see him, he's doing everything for this Islamic Center. And I wanted teachers like him because when we talk about teaching people religion and teaching people akhlaq, I think Raza is probably for me the ideal of akhlaq. The way he treats his elders, the way he treats his youngsters, I think it's for having him on my team is really an honor for me. So thank you, Raza. Once again, Brother Murtaza Razavi, you all know him. Sister Samana Prinji, once again, she's an experienced teacher, has taught at Imamia and Zainabia. And then we have a few names I do want to throw out there. And I said there were people that are interested, like Brother Najaf is here, Brother Atif I think was here. These are once again people that have a really high level of akhlaq that we can teach our students. And for them being here just as our role models is something that everyone is going to benefit from. So that's it for me. I know you heard a lot of me. If you do have any questions for me, please don't be afraid to approach me personally, by email, by phone. Any questions you have, I'll be available to answer. Please recite a last salawat for Administrator Sister Nushi.
Sorry about that. All right. Now this is just some household rule things. The daily schedule. This is what we have planned on our schedule. As you can see, it will have the arrival. That means we're waiting for students to come in, and then like any other Sunday school, if you've been to Imamia or Imamia Zainabia, they have assembly time. We're making it a little different. Like in the other slides, we explain the vision and the objectives about getting your children and teaching them the love of Ahlul Bayt. We're going to have assembly where the students will, recite a surah, and then we'll have like a hadith of the week, and we'll do dua imam zamana. So a 15-minute period, you can see that we'll have a hadith that will about any imam, and then we'll implement it during the entire day, and just keep reminding the kids of that and how they can implement it in their daily lives. And then we'll have Quran from 11 to 11:45. Quran is going to be 45 minutes, and everybody's Quran, just like the other Sunday schools, will be at the same time, because Quran, most of you know, does not go by age, it will go by their ability, the student's ability. And then as the rest you can see, pretty standard, just like any other Sunday school, and all classes by 2:45 each Quran. Okay, for lunch, we're going to do it a little different. Those of you who've been to Imamia Santa Ana, we've had pizza. And at Zainabia, they do it a little differently. They have parents sponsor, and that's what we want to try to do, just to give kids a little variety. And Sister Batul, she will be handling that part. So once we have a roster, parents will be responsible for once in a year to provide lunch. This is just an approximate number that we have, and then we'll go more into detail once we start our Sunday school in September. Okay, this is the proposed calendar. We still need to put our calendar together, but these are some of the rough dates that we have put here for vacations and when we'll start. Most important date, September 7th, when we plan to start our Sunday school. Any of these dates are subject to change, but just to give you a rough idea of what the calendar will look like next year. Okay, the most important one, I think. The fees for Sunday school. This is the fee schedule that we have kept for our Sunday school here. $150 for the first child, And then for the second child and onwards, we will charge $100. And this is just a small donation that will help us run our Sunday school a little bit better because nothing can run without finances. And any donations, extra donations are welcome from you guys, which will obviously help us as this is our first year. And if anybody is having some financial problems or something, just come to us and we will figure it out. We are not going to deny anybody registration or admission to come to Sunday school because of financial difficulties. So just come and talk to us and we will make a plan for you. We will figure something out for any of those people who have that issue. Okay. Now, I just want to remind everybody that everybody here is a volunteer, whether it's administration, whether it's principal, anybody who's working in the background, any of the teachers, parents, we're all volunteers and we're all doing this for Allah. And so we need to appreciate each other for what we are doing and respect each other and give us time to, improve. If there are things that are lacking, we're definitely going to improve it, take suggestions from you today and throughout the year, and try to make this as best a Sunday school as that we possibly can. Okay, I see that there's a hadith here, I'll read it out to you. Treat others similar to the way you would like to them to treat you. Hadith of Imam Hassan, alayhi salam. And we have a set of rules for Jafaria School. They are on the website at jafariaschool.org. You can look at them, and we expect everybody to follow these rules, whether you're a teacher, a volunteer, or a student. Okay, here's our information. You can email us, you can talk to us today. While we're here, you can look at our website, you can call us. And we do have registrations open today. We have set up a pretty easy system, I think, to register, and you can do it today. There's a table right there. We have our books, a rough idea of the curriculum, if you guys are interested to know, and some iPads and laptops set up to register. You can register right there online. I will get it on my email, and you guys don't have to do anything on paper. You can do it now. You're ready for the first day. Fees, they're not due today. They're due on the first day of Sunday school. And you can register your child now before you leave. So that way it will give us a good idea of how many students are going to be attending, and we can prepare accordingly for September. So if there's any questions, you can see us afterwards. If there's, see me or Hassan. And we do have our teachers if you're just interested to just meet and greet them. Thank you. Sallallahu Hassan, would you please come up in here and end this?
Once again, I just want to thank everybody for their time, the parents, the children, the teachers. Like Sister Nosheen said, any questions, any comments, suggestions, concerns, yes?
How many students are registered already?
We don't have I think we have a rough number. We haven't really started. We haven't really kicked off our registration. This was the first day. We wanted to invite the parents and then have them register. There isn't, I think, we've already had about 10 or 15 people that have verbally registered, but we do want them to, go up, register. And any other questions that you guys have right now? Yes?
What will be the grade levels? Kindergarten to what grade?
So it mostly depends on the students that come in. Once we have a set number of what students are there, what levels those students are, then we'll distribute them evenly to make sure if we can fit everybody in one level. But when you do fill out, there's a space of what was the last level of your child in a Sunday school previous to this one, and we'll take that into consideration so they can be. Yeah.
Because the grade levels are different. Like my kids went to Imamia,
yeah.
Some kids went to Zainabia, some kids went to Husainia. The grade levels might be different. What was grade 7 at Imamia might be grade 6 at Zainabia, might be grade 7 at Husainia.
We are going to be using Imamia's concept and their books. They are going to provide us with the books, but that could change, but the grade levels will stay according to what the books we have here. So it will, if you are transferring from Imamia or Husainia, we will keep it by age level.
Okay.
And we will adjust it accordingly. We will not hold your kids back. If your kids finish, for example, class 5 at Imamia, they will go to class 6.
Thank you.
So, we are trying to provide for older classes as well. So if your child is a teenager, 14, 15 years old, just put it on the form. We will make sure that we have a class for everybody here, inshallah.
Thank you.
Anything else? you have personal questions you want to discuss, we are here for a while, you can come and talk to us personally.
And please don't forget to register while you're here. If not, you can always go to our website, jafariaschool.org, and just click on the enroll button and register there as well. Any other questions? Let's once again recite, and I want one of the kids here, either Hasnain, Mohammedi, someone to recite the dua of the safety of our Imam. Allahumma kulli waliyika, who knows it?
Yeah, all kids stand.
Usman? And once again, let's keep in mind, I know I've talked about this before, but remember all our Shias that are going through a lot of pain right now when we recite this dua. And this dua, keep in mind, whenever we recite this dua, this is for the safety of our Imam, but also in your heart, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our Imam, so all our problems could be solved. Subhanahu?
Okay, girls can stand on this side. You guys can stand on this side. Girls, you guys can stand on this side right here. Come on, everybody. No. Come on, girls. Let's give Smana some support. Everybody can recite together.
صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.